All right, this is a little bit a different type of vibe. I'm actually in my house recording right now because usually when I make videos, I'm at my friend Kevin's house because he's more of the tech guy. And I don't know how to post videos, believe it or not. Well, I'm learning now, but I'm a horrible Asian, by the way. I'm a person that doesn't know anything about technology. I'm 34 years old and I haven't played a video game since I was probably 12. I still have a iPhone 8. I've had this phone for about 7 years. Could barely post stuff from this phone because my iPhone charger is actually kind of like broken and I gotta tip it in a certain way. But I figured I'd get on here. This is my girlfriend's iPad. I know I could post videos from here. And in this video, what I want to actually do is talk to you about how to actually access, get involved with the shadow side, the shadow self, the unconscious, and what's the easiest way to quote unquote heal yourself. Okay, and today I woke up and I actually went over to Brooklyn. I live in Staten Island, New York. I had to travel to Brooklyn, but when I woke up this morning, the first thing I did was I checked Instagram, which I know if you're into self development, that's probably the worst thing you should do. But I do have a father who has a heart condition, and I'm always I don't sleep well because I'm always a little bit worried about him. He's doing a whole lot better now, which I'm very, very grateful. But I always like to check my text messages as soon as I wake up. Now, because I check my text messages, what do you think I do? I go right to Instagram. And today, when I went to Instagram, there was a girl I knew. I haven't seen her maybe in about 2 years that I used to work with at the gym. I trained her for like a session or two. She posted in one of her Instagram stories that she needs healing. How do you heal? Now, if you look at this girl's Instagram, if you look at her stories, she appears like she got everything together. Like I just recently saw her on she was on a girls trip. She was with a bunch of girls. She was partying. She was drinking. Pictures everywhere, pool. Doing well in life, traveling. But here you go. She's asking, how do you heal? And me, because I'm along this journey of doing my best to let go, to release myself, to release any trapped emotion in my body, to be my greatest version, to step into the person who I'm meant to be. I figured, why not share? And the thing that I wrote was something that she's probably not going to really even look at, which was, how do you heal? You have to sit with the hurt and actually experience it. Now, the hurt is the shadow side, the unconscious. You have to go in there and you have to look deep and find out what it is that you have to let go of, what it is that you have to release. And it's going to suck. There's no easy way to heal. Well, there is an easy way. There's a simple way. You just have to accept it. And once you accept it and step into it and allow yourself to merge with it and realize that the only way to freedom is actually going through pain. You know, I like to use sometimes the Bible as a metaphor. And, you know, they say he died so he could be reborn again. Well, the way I look at it was, you know, he went through a suffering to be reborn, which is something we as human beings have to do. The suffering is the stuff that we repressed, that we didn't actually experience. We pushed away, we ran away from it, or we fought it. Now, there's a whole bunch of healing things out there, and I've tried them all. I've done deep meditation to access the shadow self, which is, you know, see what's in there, experience it, allow it to come up. I've done hypnosis. I've done Reiki. I've done body work. I've done Gestalt therapy. I've gone to seminars where, you know, you pretend like, you know, what your dad might have hurt you in the past. So you point out to somebody in the audience that might have reminded you like your father, and then you got to scream at him and tell him how he made you feel. I've done all of this therapy, right? And all this type of healing work. But the truth is, That's all the stuff that is mainstream in a way. Nobody actually talks about what works, how to actually access the shadow self, how to actually go in there and release it. And the reason why I'm making this video is because today I had a rough day. After I sent the girl the message, I had to go to Brooklyn. And as soon as I walked out my house, I'm walking down my street. I see a guy coming up and he looks kind of lost. He looks a little confused. And as he's passing me, I say, "How you doing, sir?" And I walk past him, and literally all he does is he turns around. He says, "What?" And I'm like, I turn around. He's like, "What did you say?" And I'm like, I said, "How you doing, sir?" And he said, "How you doing, sir?" And then all of a sudden he's like, "That's what we do out here." And I'm just looking at this guy, and I know I could look at his face, and I could see that he's not all there. He's not mentally there. You know, I live in New York City. There's a lot of mentally disturbed people out on the streets. The government, as far as New York City, has definitely failed us as a people, right? So there's a lot of pain here in New York City. So that kind of like aggravated me, but I was able to let it go. I was able to just, you know what, whatever. I just walked past him. The way he didn't look like a threat at all. I just kept walking. And you know, I end up getting on the bus. I end up going to my friend's house, who I make the videos with, because usually I make the videos with him because he's a true Asian. You know, as a joke, he really knows how to work like technology and stuff. But the problem is, when I get there, I feel like we have to make 5 or 6 videos in that one sitting for the YouTube channel. So usually when you see the videos, the video that came out today was, I think, you know, I ran 6 miles twice a week and here's what happened, here's what I experienced. That's a video that I made last week. It was probably like maybe 6 or 7 days ago. And usually when you see videos go back to back, you usually see me dressed the same. That's because I made all of the videos in one sitting. And maybe in a span of an hour and a half, I make like 6 straight videos of ideas I've had, things I've documented. Now the problem is, I have to get up super early. I tend to go to bed at 3, 4 o'clock in the morning because that's my schedule. But for him, I have to wake up extremely early, get to his house, because in order for him to help me, I have to work with his schedule. So usually I'm on like 3.5, 4.5 hours of sleep. I'm miserable. My rhythm is all messed up. So now I get to his house and he puts the camera on, and we made one video, which is coming out tomorrow on, I think it was like activating stillness. But the problem for you guys, if you don't know, I have issues speaking to the camera. Speaking to the camera and doing stuff like this is very, very uncomfortable for me. I have imposter syndrome. A lot of times I don't feel like I'm good enough. I feel like my story isn't good enough. And I see people on YouTube who I admire, and I think that, you know, they're better than me. I can't ever achieve what they can achieve. And this is all programming, by the way. This is because I haven't done enough deep work and gone inside and faced my shadow side to actually release any issues. Not decorate them, because that's what a lot of self-help talks about. I made a video on my 14-year journey of self-help, which is basically what I should have been doing from the beginning back in 2010, was just go in and visit my dark shadow side, do some shadow work. But nobody ever taught me this. Everybody taught me about being, you know, positive thinking, be grateful, do affirmations, do meditations, do visualizations. Nobody ever talked to me about shadow self, shadow work, because it's hard. What I've learned with the self-help community is it's a marketing scheme. And I want to say a marketing scheme because there's good stuff there. There's a lot of good stuff there. But what they do is they tell you stories, and everybody has the same story. Somebody was, you know, the guru, he was homeless once. He was eating out of garbage cans, at least in America. He was eating out of garbage cans, and he discovered this secret. And then once he discovered this secret, he started doing this amazing work, and then he achieved millionaire status. And this is how he achieved it. And now he's going to share it with you in this book, in this seminar, in this digital course. And, you know, it's the whole, you know, I've been in your shoes story, right? And I like that stuff. It's cool. But once I started learning, you know, recently within the last few years, I've been reading a lot of marketing books on direct response marketing. And it's all storytelling to persuade you, to move you, to make you think you could do it, because what they want you to do is think that it's going to be quote unquote easy. Like all you have to do is this one little secret. Like The Secret is a great example. Just think positively. Law of attraction. You could sit there, you could visualize. This is stuff we all want to hear. We want to hear it's going to be easy. It's not going to be painful. But the truth, in order for us to really step into our greatest version of ourselves, to release ourselves, we have to do shadow work. We have to go to a dark, dark place. And that's where I'm going with this video, because, like I said, I don't like doing videos. I have a hard time. I'm not comfortable on the camera. I have imposter syndrome. But the fact that I'm doing this and I'm working on myself and I'm working on releasing my insecurities and letting go and sharing, because I am starting to believe that my journey is good enough to be shared. I figure I share and document even some things when I'm at the house. Now, this video is not high quality, so to speak. The lighting is probably not good. The way the camera is, it's on my girlfriend's iPad, and I'm just sharing right now. So I'm going to share with you an easy way. I don't even want to say easy way, but the best way to access the shadow side, the shadow self, and face your demons and release them. Not beat them, release them. Because believe it or not, your demons that are in there, they're meant to protect you. They're meant to keep you safe. It's just basically your ego. Your ego wants to keep you comfortable, and it wants you to be in control. It's meant to keep you together. Make sure you have a certain amount of status amongst your tribe, amongst your peers. But the reason why I'm making this channel is because I'm 34 years old. I'm a millennial. And us who are millennials, we realize how hard it is. We're probably the first generation that's actually doing probably worse than our parents. I'm 34 years old. I've been with my girlfriend for 10 years. As of right now, I don't feel like living in New York City, we're making enough income, because she wants kids. I want kids. We're not making enough income to actually be comfortable to raising a kid. We definitely don't want to put our kids in the public school system, especially the New York public school system. There's dark forces out there as far as like government, corporations, certain military industrial complexes, all this, controversy and stuff, like conspiracy. Me being in the military from 2009 to 2013, I'm telling you right now, a lot of these conspiracies that you hear are probably true. They're keeping us down as millennials. And you know it's true. If you're over the age of 30, you're working longer than your parents did. Unless you're on like the welfare checks or you're collecting something. But you're working more than your parents did, but you're doing worse. You probably have more skills than your parents, but you're doing worse. You see all of these things that are taking our jobs. And this is why I'm starting to, I have a YouTube channel now, because I need to get my voice out there to become a little bit more known, so I could be a little bit more comfortable, so I could eventually have children. Now, a lot of people might just say, yo, why don't you just have children and just deal with it? I don't want that. I'm not allowing the public school systems to raise my kids. I'm not allowing the public school systems to raise my kids. They're pushing ideologies onto our kids. But that's for another story. But how do you actually access the shadow self? You have to do hard shit. And I said that in the video that came out today. By running 6 miles, I was able to access a certain voice in my head. And it happened again today. I decided to run 6 miles. Now today, I wanted to take it easy, because last week, because I decided this week I'm going to run 6 miles twice a week with a friend. Now my friend, he's huge. This guy's like 6 feet tall, 220 pounds, jacked. And this dude today freaking sends me a text message of him doing his run. This is my partner in crime, my accountability partner. He sends me a video. This is a guy I used to work with in the military, top level entrepreneur, really, really successful guy. He's the owner of Hot Chicken Kitchen and the owner of Dat Bowl. He has a franchise called Hot Chicken Kitchen. His name is Fred Gilmore. Amazing, amazing guy. Very, very tough. Been through so much. Really wants to help the world. He's the person who has a huge voice, a huge heart. He really wants to give back. But one of the things he's been doing for me, he's been mentoring me and he's been pushing me. And he's been telling me to go for it. And he's been telling me to make YouTube videos. So he's like, yo, what's going on? He's always keeping me accountable. So this month, we're running 6 miles a day, twice a week, right? And he sends me a picture of him doing the 6 miles in 55 minutes. Now, if you watch the video that came out earlier today, I spoke about how I did it in an hour and like 19 minutes the first time, and then I did it in 58 minutes the second time. And the reason why I did it in 58 minutes the second time was because he did it in an hour and 1 minute, his first run or his second run. And when he did that, it triggered me to go. So now I saw the 55 minutes and I'm like, damn, I wanted to take it easy today. But the thing is, I'm already having a bad day. Like I woke up, I felt the need to share with the girl that I saw on Instagram. I also had that experience with the guy outside who kind of like cursed at me and screamed at me. Then I got to my friend's Kevin's house and I was so uncomfortable on the camera on the video we made, which is coming out tomorrow. You probably won't even notice it, but I noticed that I have tics. And usually I don't like watching my videos because I just get a little cringy. But we made the video, and then at 3:00, because we're doing our best to start a business right now, because we're putting out a course on releasing anxiety. It's called the Anxiety Release Breakthrough System. We're working on the marketing campaign and all of this stuff, but we had to get the tech stuff together, which is about 2 hours, 3 hours. Now, like I said at the beginning of the video, I'm horrible with tech stuff. So here he's doing FaceTime and a Zoom call with this lady who's helping us out put everything together. And I'm sitting there, and mind you, I'm on like 3.5, 4 hours of sleep. I'm falling asleep, not feeling good. And I'm getting upset with myself because I'm like, I got to learn this. I know I'm the face of like our little thing that we're doing. He's more of the tech guy. He edits the videos. I basically come up with the ideas, and I'm the person that is coming up with the course, the Anxiety Release Breakthrough System. It's a very, very unique system on releasing anxiety. If you're interested, of course, comment in the comment section below. I'll reach out to you. But besides the point, we did the tech stuff, and I'm falling asleep. I can't stay up, and I'm just feeling horrible. I'm feeling miserable. On top of that, I'm upset because the video we made that day was horrible. We didn't make like 3 or 4 videos like we usually do. I was stuttering, felt like an imposter. So when I came home, I took a nice little nap. I took about an hour and a half nap. And I woke up and I said, okay, I got to go do this run. And I got to try to get it to 55 minutes. Now, this dude is about 70 pounds heavier than me, maybe 60 pounds heavier than me. He's in better shape, by the way. Top level entrepreneur, probably busier than me, has kids. Me, no kids. Been with my girlfriend for 10 years. I feel like I work just as much as him, but I'm not doing the higher leverage skills that he's doing to make the type of income that he's making. But I'm like, I have no excuse. So I decided to do the run. Now today, I decided to cheat just a little bit. Usually I'll start the run at my house, but my house is very hilly. In Staten Island, there's a lot of hills. So what I did was I walked to the park, and I got to the park. And as I got to the park is a little bit more flat. There's still hills, but it's not as hilly when you first leave my house. So the last time when I did this run, I did it in like 58:40. Now I'm trying to get it to 55 because I want to beat him. And it's not to beat him. It's just I know if he's doing it, I should be doing it. Mind you, this dude used to smoke for years. So he has bad lungs. He has asthma. He's pushing through. Now, this is how you access the shadow self, right? I start the run. And when I got to 2 miles, I'm feeling amazing. I hit 2 miles at like 17 minutes. So I'm checking my pace and I'm like, yeah, I could beat him. I could beat the 55 minutes, right? So then I did I hit the 3 mile mark at like 27 minutes. So now I'm doing the math, times that by 2, it's 54 minutes. Still feeling good, but it's getting a little tough. It's getting a little hard. Now I'm talking to myself. I'm doing my best to keep a positive mental attitude. But at the 3 mile mark, the voice came, the dark side. And I started to slow down. And I checked my pace. Now I'm at like 11-minute pace. So I was at 27 minutes. I was running at like a 9-minute pace. Now I dropped to 11 minutes. And from maybe about a quarter of a mile to a half of a mile in the 3.5 mile mark, I started to feel sorry for myself. And I started to say to myself, this always happens to me. All of my insecurities. I remember when I was a kid getting cut from the basketball team. I remember being abused. I remember being bullied. I remember when I was in the military being forced to do things that I kind of didn't want to do because I didn't have a voice. Like all of these things started to happen. And then I started thinking about today where the guy actually had the nerve. It didn't even bother me at the time, but the guy, like that came up, the guy was screaming at me, and I was like, maybe it's because I'm only 5'8" and I'm small. All of these things came up. I can't speak to the camera. I'm not charismatic enough to hold somebody's attention. I'm not good enough to make content. All of this stuff came up. And then I realized, holy crap, this is the shadow. This is the unconscious. And what I had to do there was allow the voice to come up and experience. Don't resist. Don't resist. Allow it to come up. And I felt the emotions. I could literally feel my eyes get a little bit teary. And I'm like, I'm not going to cry, but I feel like I'm going to cry. I could actually experience it. I started feeling really, really sorry for myself. And the voice came up, you're a loser. All of this. And I said, you know what? Accept it. Don't fight with it. This is the shadow. And as I was doing this and I was allowing that voice to come up, I started to say to myself, I'm sorry. Please forgive me. And I just kept saying that over. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Now, this is a technique I learned from Joe Vitale. He wrote a book called The 0 Point. And it was like basically 4 affirmations you could say to yourself to kind of heal yourself. So I remember this and I just kept saying, I'm sorry. Please forgive me. And who I'm talking to is the creator, whether it be the universe or God, whatever you believe in. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. And I kept saying this over and over again. And before you know it, that pain I had, because my legs were dead, my heart was breathing hard, my mouth was open, my mouth was getting dry. I started to feel these emotions come up and they started to like transmute and elevate. And it started to get pushed up. And then all of a sudden, by the 4-mile mark, I don't remember the exact time, I said, holy crap, I feel better. Like it was like a weight was lifted off of me. Now, when I was running at the 4-mile mark, I started to pick up the pace again. And this time, the voice kind of changed. It was like, yo, you could do this. You could win. You could win. You could win. You could win. And I started to say this over and over again. And as I got to the 5-mile mark, I don't remember the exact time. Now, to be frank, to be short, I end up finishing the run at 57 minutes and like 58 seconds. So I didn't get to the 55, but I beat my time from before. But I remember I was pushing it so hard at the end that when I finally hit the 6-mile mark and I heard it, I just laid down on the floor. And I'm talking about I'm laying down on this dirty ass floor, laid down and embraced all of the feelings. And I almost peed myself, which was the crazy thing. I almost peed myself while laying down on the floor. Now, mind you, while I was doing the run, I didn't have to pee. But all of a sudden, I think what it was I was pushing myself so freaking hard that literally my body, my mind, my brain, my ego, all of this stuff thought I was literally going to die. And it went into panic mode. And the adrenaline was surging through me that when I stopped and I realized that I was safe, I felt the urge to pee. Now, I don't think I peed myself. Maybe a little bit came out. I probably got to check right now. But it was amazing that what I went through in that 6-mile journey. So what I'm learning more and more is that in order for you to access your shadow self, yes, you could do deep meditation. You could do all of the therapy. You could do hypnotherapy. You could do gestalt therapy where you have a therapist tell you to scream at your dad, scream at your mom. You could journal. You could write letters to people that hurt you. You could face the people that bullied you when you was a kid and go tell them off and express yourself. I've done all that. And I'm gonna be honest with you, the best way to access the shadow self, the unconscious, the subconscious, and release those patterns that are truly holding you back is you got to do hard stuff. And when you do hard stuff, do it for a long enough period of time that you could overcome. I would say anywhere from an hour to an hour and a half. Now, you don't have to do it every day, but you could do it once a week, twice a week. Like I'm doing this run twice a week. And all 3 runs, I face something. Now, mind you, I said in the video this morning that I posted, I don't like running. As a personal trainer, I don't believe cardio is any good when it comes to weight loss. It's good for heart health, but you should be pushing yourself for a long distance, for something close to an hour, and pushing yourself. Because when you're pushing yourself, you're going to access that voice, the unconscious, the things that are trying to keep you safe, the ego, the things that's trying to keep you comfortable, the thing that's trying to keep you in control, keep you put together. But in order for you to reach the next level, you have to break it off. You have to release it. You have to access that shadow self. Go into that dark place, that dark tunnel. See what's down there. Allow it to come up. Experience it. When you experience it, accept it. Allow it to be there. When you allow it to be there, you can start to talk to it. Tell it, I'm sorry. You could even tell it, thank you. Because that thing that's holding you back, all it's trying to do is protect you and keep you safe. But you can start to speak to it. You can say, hey, I don't need you no more. I'm all grown up. I'm safe. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. I love you. Thank you so much for protecting me. And I'm telling you, this is the best way I know to do shadow work. It's not going to these seminars. It's not meditation helps. You could sit there and allow things to come up and experience it. Don't resist it. Allow it to pass on through. Go through the pain. Remember, pain is the price of freedom. But this is by far the quickest, fastest way to change. Do hard stuff. And when you do hard stuff, face those demons. Don't resist them. Allow them to come up. Sit with them, even thank them, because these demons, what they were trying to do was protect you and keep you safe, keep you comfortable, keep you in control, keep you alive. But accept it, thank it, tell it to flow, tell it to do whatever it has to do. And believe it or not, when you tell it to do whatever it has to do, it might even hurt even more. It might, I have a video coming out soon that I'm planning on working on. It's called The Dangers of Letting Go, or the dangers of doing release work, which basically when I first started doing this release work, letting go techniques back in 2020, there's some dangers to it because you're going to start to experience all of that repressed emotion and it's going to start coming up. And you're going to, when you first start doing this, you're actually going to start to think that you're getting worse, but you're not. You're just aware now what's going on in there. You're not pushing it away. So I'll talk about that later, but allow that stuff to come up. Allow the pain to come up. Don't repress it no more. Don't even express it. Experience it. Stop expressing, stop fighting. Allow it to come up. Sit with it. Talk to it. Thank it. Forgive it. Tell it I love you and tell it it could go. And that's the video for today. Wow, 28 minutes. So I don't really expect anybody to watch this, but that was the video on how to access the shadow self. It was a little bit different today. I'm at my house. It's a little bit quieter. I'm not in my friend's house where it's usually loud. I'm usually tired. I'm usually cranky. So if you like this video, let me know. If you want me to make more videos like this where I'm at my house, where it's quieter, I like being in the dark. I like it when it's dark. I actually have more energy. I could think better. I could concentrate better. Usually when you see me during the daytime, my brain is on like a few hours of sleep. But I realize the quality of this video is not that great. But let me know what you think in the comment section below. Let me know if you think I'm full of shit. Let me know if you think this method works. Push yourself. Do Do the hard thing. Do the hard thing. There's rewards, man, to letting go, to allowing the dark side to come up. Experience it. Don't fight with it. Don't repress it. Sit with it and release it. Till next time. Peace.